Hi there. My name is Brendan, and you bought your Medsport or you're thinking about buying your Avazzia Medsport. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the technology and walk you through some of the protocols that you can use with it, as well as give you an in-depth understanding of what you're doing with the tech. So, this is the Avazzia Medsport. It's a microcurrent react technology device that allows you to interact with your body in a way that you've never been able to do before. It's not like a TENS unit, it's much better than a TENS unit. In the way that it actually interacts with your nervous system, as well as helping your body restore functionality from the nerves. You can use the MedSport device to help with all sorts of sports related injuries, as well as any type of acute pain that you're having trouble dealing with, and releasing that pain, allowing you to mitigate your overall pain signal and sensors without causing nerve damage or numbness in a way that's healthy for the body and not fighting against the body, but assisting the body. Okay, so how do we do it? Well, you'll see that on the back, there's two metal squares. What that kind of shows you is that there's an in and an out for the device. Your body goes in the middle of the device and acts as the circuit for how the plus and the minus goes through. So if you have any background in electrical science or what we're doing, well, we're sending a signal into the body and we're hoping that that signal changes the tissue or that the tissue changes for the signal so that we can get an improved sensory ability or nervous tissue functionality. How do we do that? Well, we send a signal that's a microcurrent signal, so a million times lower than what your normal 9-volt battery would be in terms of the frequency of the amp, right? And as it goes into the body is going to interpret it as a normal neutral signal that the brain naturally uses. A lot of TENS units that use a millicurrent, right, will overdo the signal strength into the body and disrupt the nervous tissue, acting kind of like how an opioid acts in terms of disrupting that signal processing across the body. Well, we work with the body, we don't disrupt it. We help the body produce natural neuropeptides that release pain relief naturally without the disruptive feature of it. And additionally, we can also help with the fascia if it's triggered isolation pain, as well as any compensations that are triggering that pain. So we don't just address the pain, we try to work on the core cause of that pain to rework how your body's functioning to work with you, not against you. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, there are 4 different modes in the Avazzia device. Each of these modes are algorithms or protocols or processes that can be done to an area of your body to trigger change, right? So when you turn on the device, easy to turn on, runs on AA batteries, comes with the kit, and there's a nice little attachment that comes with every all our kits, which is called the Y bar, which I highly recommend. But when you turn on the device on the side, you're going to see lights light up on the top, as well as 4 different zones or modes that you can activate on. You can press that center button to change the modes. Each of these modes do different things, right? If you see on the MedSport device, sorry if the camera's not the best. Let's see, can we get it to focus in on my here? Yes, there we go. On the MedSport device, you're going to have relax, mod, 4 to 1, blue stim, and acute. Each of these modes are very important for how you're going to manage your pain and how you're going to manage your injuries. Relax, think of it as if you have any tension in your body, you now have a tool that can wipe away that tension without causing damage. If you're using a rolling pin or you're using, deep tissue work to try and release the fascia, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just use the relaxed mode. You can release that deep tissue, that fascia layer, and then the muscle layer underneath without hurting yourself. It's so painful scraping. It's so painful digging into the body. Well, now you have a mode that interacts with the nervous system, sends in a very small current and frequency that the body naturally thinks is a release signal, and then it releases by the chain of command of how the nerves work the natural neuropeptides that interact with the fascia that detense it and remove that chaos field. They organize. They start to file in. And so what that looks like is I literally can turn it on, put it on, and if I have a sticky area of my body because the fascia is tight and the tension's there, well, I can just paint back and forth. And it feels relaxing, right? Now, if I want to feel a tingle, which is what I recommend you do to make sure it's on, you can turn it up the intensity, right? And you can turn it up until you feel a tingle. You can turn it up all the way. I don't recommend it. And depending on where you hold it, I would like a lower signal. I like just having it where I can feel the tingle, and that's what most of our protocols call for anyways. The tingle is more of a placebo effect for most protocols. Some protocols you're looking to try and get recruitment and muscle activation, but for a majority of them, you just need to feel the tingle. So for fascial release, you just need a tingle to know that your biofeedback side of the body is there. So I know I have a tingle there. I know that area is being worked on. That's a placebo effect, but also a biofeedback effect. The device isn't a biofeedback device because it doesn't change for that input signal, and that's FDA reasons for that. It's cleared as a TENS unit, and we're using it as an advanced medical device to interact with the body. We, by having that signal on our body, know that there's change being done in the tissue. Additionally, what it really is doing is it's reconnecting and organizing how the nerves function by finding the path of least resistance, incentivizing that, and giving energy to the body so that those nerves can fire again. Healing through assistance, not disruption. Okay, so I put it on, turn it up to where I feel tingle, and then I can paint anywhere in the area. Some areas are trigger points where I'll get to it and all of a sudden I'll feel it in my pinky. Well, guess what? If that was sticky and disruptive, that entire nerve line was disrupted all across the board. So we can actually interact and help that area out significantly, right? If you have sports-related injuries, I think we've all thought about how we use our mouses now in the modern era. We type a lot. We're going to get carpal tunnel disruption right in here. Well, we can go straight to relax mode, and this area might be sticky, and we can work with this and release this area. Right? Any point of pain, you can turn it on, put it on, help with the pain. All right. Now, for more advanced issues where it doesn't immediately take out the pain, right? The Medsport gives you the option of having some technical modes that can address it. So besides for relax, we have mod 4 to 1. What mod 4 to 1 does is it's pure chaos into the body. When you do massage work, your goal is to put chaos into the area so that the body has to respond and reorganize in a better way, right? But it is fatiguing to the body. What mod 4 to 1 does is it disrupts what the overriding command signals for the nerves are doing. Say that the command for the nerves are to protect the area because you got hit while you're playing football, and now you're clenching an area of your body always because you think that some 180-pound or 250-pound guy is going to hit you at any second. Well, that's not healthy for you to do when you're just in class or when you're at home 40 years later, but you're still compensating for it. So how do you interact with your parasympathetic to release it? Well, you go to this device, you relax the area, and then for a really sticky area that just won't relax, you can put it on mod 4 to 1 and hold it there for 30 seconds. You can do more, but mod really does fatigue the muscle more than 5 to 10 minutes. I recommend just 1 to 2 minutes on it. So you can hold it there, and what it'll slowly do is it will release that trigger point, right? That really deep area. You don't need to roll or scrape or do anything to disrupt it. It's not painful, just really activates it. And then now it's not sticky anymore, right? The fascia releases finally. The isolation of the muscle tissue releases. Okay. Now, that's one of the best things to use mod for. You can have areas for concussion damage. You can have areas for your vagal nerve activation. You can have areas all across the board that are locked short. You may have tech neck because you're over your phone a lot, and so your neck is going to be tight in here, and your pectoris major is going to be tight in here, and so you can actually go in and modulate the spot right here, and modulate the spot right here, and then rotate your hands out, and guess what? You can breathe better now, and your head's not leaning forward, and you start to address that hunch that you might have developed passively. So this technology is wonderful to use. Okay, so mod, wonderful technique, always a wonderful mode, great algorithm. Essentially what it's doing is it's putting a little bit of chaos, waiting for the body to recover, and putting a little bit more chaos, all right? And it's doing that in a cycle. For over 30 seconds, you're gonna get way more work done than if someone was kneading that area, right, for an hour, right? It's a lot of signals going in. The nervous system's actually responding rapidly to the body. Okay, blue stem. Blue stem is a mode that's used for scar tissue management, right, and mitigation. So if you have scarring on the body, you might have an old injury, you might have old sports injury, you might have an old, accident, trauma, head fall, and we all were all there. As kids, you might have gotten your scrapes, nicks, and all types of different issues. And guess what? You relax the area, the fascia releases from that area, and then you go to blue stem and you trigger that circulation in the area to actually get the tissue to change. you can release scar tissue with the Medsport. It is a wonderful device. If you have a C-section, you're going to work on your area. The scar across your abdominal, right? And you're going to relax the body with relax mode. And then you're going to go to blue stem and you're going to stimulate the circulation. And it's going to flush red. I've had people who are as pale as a white sheet of paper. And all of a sudden they say, oh, I never flush red. I never blush. I never do this. A little bit of time with blue stem and you'll get so much circulation in there you couldn't believe it. Okay, so the next mode that you can use is acute. Now, acute has a whole different type of protocol that's oriented towards it. So acute is, instead of putting chaos in, we're going to put a command signal to activate and recruit. The goal for acute is to recruit and then release. It's to teach the body what high stimulation should be and what low stimulation should be. So for areas of your body that don't know how to act, or muscles that don't know how to react, and don't know if they should be tight or smooth and released, this helps teach the body what it should be. Now, there's a protocol that we use primarily for acute, and it really does dominate what acute does, and that's called the vagal nerve release, right? Where we go into the neck, we're going to relax the neck, right? And at this point, I love using the Y-bar for this because that's actually the most relaxing thing. But we're going to relax the neck, okay? And then what we're going to do, sorry, water break. They're going to relax the neck, both sides first. And if you feel a sticky area, you might want to hold it there. And this is a good time to do modulate too for 30 seconds on a sticky area, right? And then after you've relaxed both sides and everything's smooth, you're going to want to turn up just a little bit extra until you might feel a shooting tingle into the ear. So for my area where I feel the most shooting tingles, right here. And I go behind the ear, I go down, non-relax. Yeah, I feel it right there. Okay. So now on relax mode, I might not have a jerk of my shoulder, but the second I go to acute mode, it's going to activate it. Yeah, you see my shoulder go up, then it's going to relax. And it's going to activate, ooh, and then it's going to relax. And we're going to do this 6 times usually. And you can do this once a day. And what this does is it releases and relaxes and retrains the vagal nerve sheath. And the vagal nerve is a nerve that kind of communicates a lot of your parasympathetic stress, right? And we're going to do the other side. Oh, amazing. Yep, there it is. Relax. Now, I've already relaxed this side before, so that's why I can just go straight into the other side. But for those at home, remember, relax, relax, and then you start to use acute. And then you're going to see. Now, if your head's tilting a little bit and your shoulder's not raising, I do recommend that you might want to hold that SCM or that muscle that's pulling your neck to the side, just to make sure it's not as jerky. You don't want to harm. This is a good way to fatigue the neck and make it feel sore afterwards. So you don't have to have it high, just enough to where you get a little bit of a shoulder raise, a little bit of an action and tingle into the neck, into the ear. Fantastic protocol. Makes you feel more relaxed. It actually lowers your resting heart rate. It helps with your HRV. It helps with how your variable heart is working. Your total stress load, your tension will decrease when you do this protocol. One of the best reasons to get the Medsport. One of the main reasons why I would have a person buy the Medsport instead of the Avazzia Blue, because it has this mode on here, and then you can instantly do that. Besides, for the vagal nerve protocol, you can use acute on any tissue that is improperly under load. What does that mean? Well, for example, let's say that my shoulder is always rounded or tight. Well, that means that my muscle right here is in tension always. It's hard for me, maybe if I zoom in back a little bit here, it's hard for me to rotate out. In fact, I'll feel a strain right here if this is too tight. Well, that means that this muscle is locked short and it doesn't understand where it should be. If it's still locked short after I've modulated it for 30 seconds, then I can use acute and it's going to tighten it and relax it. And it's going to force the muscle to realize what proper load should be in that area. Fantastic, Mo. 100%. You should use it. Every time you feel tension that you can't explain and there's compensation in the area, one of the best things you can do. So besides that, you have, again, three other modes you can use on the device. There's 4 modes total. This Medsport is extremely powerful. I know patients who have used this for shin splints. I know patients who have used this for plantar fasciitis. I know people who use this on an everyday basis for all sorts of different pain. Okay. Easiest way to use this device, turn it on, put it on, turn it up. Right. You don't have to turn it up too high, just enough. And here's some general tips afterwards. If you turn on the device and put it on an area and turn it up, remember that when you pick up off that area and put it on another point, maybe you put it on your face, it's going to feel really sensitive. Each point of your body has a different neural load and how it responds with the sensitivity of the current. So you always want to turn it down before you turn it up in another place, right? Or treat another place. The second tip I have is when you use the device, there are no major side effects for the technology. And because we get into the point where you can do the vagal nerve, if you have high blood pressure, it's going to regulate and lower your blood pressure significantly. So if after you use that protocol, don't stand up right away. Maybe wait a minute or two and make sure and test, because it's going to actually help your body regulate how it's processing things. You might be, it might cause you a little dizziness if you stand up too quickly. The third thing is that you want to drink water because for every hour of treatment you do with this device, you're using a lot of your body's water. You might go into a healing crisis if you're dehydrated. You might feel fatigued if you're not drinking enough water. I highly recommend you have a water bottle, drink a little bit while you're treating, drink a little bit after. If you're not getting a good tingle when you start to put the device on, it could be because you're dehydrated to begin with and the nerves just won't function anyways. We get this with a lot of older patients on areas where their body, and when they're trying to paint with the Y bar and they're going through, it's very slippery. And that's not that there's no problems in the area, it's that their body just doesn't get the circulation and the hydration that it needs to function on a regular basis. Which is why you get instances like you get like a scaly skin or smooth skin, or you're not essentially it's very pale. There's not a lot of circulation or redness in the area. Some elder patients that we work on, when you start rubbing on those areas, it will start to flake. It'll feel like dust spitting off into the air because new tissue starts to reform underneath there and actually gets circulation back into the area. It's amazing, fantastic. Yeah, all across the body, this is very helpful. Now, 5, there are some things that you should always watch out for if you have extreme numbness in an area. So say you're an athlete and you hurt yourself. What's the first thing that the coach is going to say? Once you hurt yourself, don't push it again. Wait a day or two. Don't max out. If you do take pain meds, a good way to get a tear or get a sprain is to exercise or work on an existing injury. What we do with the Avazzia is we can trigger acute pain relief. That doesn't mean that you can go out and you can do your max the next day. I recommend that after you use the Avazzia, you give your body time to heal, right? And now that you're out of pain, fantastic. And then you give it a little bit of time because it increases the risk, and there is a risk associated with this, that you overdo. You feel too good. You think, oh, okay, well, I can push my max. I haven't felt this good in years, right? It happens. People push themselves. They haven't given their body time to actually heal underneath it. And that neuropeptide release that the device causes, it's not numbing the body, it's causing the pain relief. So when you do feel the pain from maxing, that is the true body signal. So a lot of people don't realize that when they take pain meds, they're numbing their body. When they numb their body, you're disrupting the natural process that would inhibit you from actually stopping yourself from injury. Well, the Avazzia doesn't inhibit you from sending signals. So when you do feel that pain, listen to your body. Be very aware that your body is telling you, hey, let's try to be responsible. Let's not push ourselves. Now, there are some elite athletes who are going to push themselves regardless. In that case, you should have pads on immediately after your injury, immediately after you push yourself, because you're going to be harming your body. We understand that you're going to be pushing yourself at the elite level, but we can't advise you to, overdo it. And I highly recommend this device is cleared for pain management and mitigation. It's not cleared to go hurt yourself with. To always be cognizant of how you can push yourself, right? Okay. That being said, the Avazzia is an amazing technology, and the Medsport is one of the best devices that we have on offer for home use. If you have needs and you have it in your first aid kit, you can meet it instantly. I know that I don't travel without a device because I know that I can sprain, tear, strain something at any point, anytime. If I want to go play a pickup game of a sport and I want to go exercise, I have a unit on hand in my pocket, in my workout bag, because I know that seconds matter. And if I sprain or tear something, I want to be able to relax and release the swelling immediately with the Avazzia device. Now, that's part of the power you have. I know physical therapists who use this device and prescribe them to their patients. I know DOs that use this device as a mitigation factor before surgery so that they can figure out if they do need to commit to the surgery or if it's just a myofascial release that's required, or if it's just the body's non-responsive compensations that are triggering pain and processes all across the body. Fantastic device, wonderful to use. It's a good purchase. If you have any questions about the technology, you can call into our office number at First Alternative Therapies at 954-789-2097. You can email in at info@fareps.com, or you can check out our website at firstalternativetherapies.com to see if you're interested in purchasing the device. This is the Medsport. It's the second tier from the home models, and it is an invaluable device. I can't talk about how much work can be done, how much effective work on your body, not just acute, but passive, preventative, catastrophic work that can be done with the technology. Any fascia that you have that's tight, any tension can help be released. Any pain can help be mitigated with this device. And that's what makes this really effective. When we start talking about why you want to get this device versus a professional device, the chronic tag starts to be put on. So this is where we all get into with the RSI, the Ultra, and the Firstport 3. And there is a mention for it. This device is for acute pain. Depending on how chronic your pain is, you might want to go with a stronger device. You're still going to get results with this device. The professional devices and the prescription grade devices are just going to be significantly faster, maybe 3 to 4 times faster when it comes to getting those results, right? But when you're talking about an hour, 4 hours of therapy, usually I would say it's worth the 4 hours of therapy if you're going to save a little bit. But if you don't have time or you do have a chronic catastrophic issue, you should get the RSI or the Ultra or the Firstport. So that being said, I'm so glad you joined me. So you bought the Medsport. I hope you have a wonderful time.